So, lads, in today's update on the Jimmy Butler situation, we're going to be talking about a lot of things. We're going to be talking about a lot of things with Miami. We're going to be talking about Dwayne Wade. We're going to be talking about Udonis Haslem. We're going to be talking about how Miami Heat legends like Dwayne Wade are dealing with this situation. And the reality is that if you have looked at Wade, what he has said is 100% a fact. And if you guys agree with that, heck, whether you guys agree with it or not, if you guys could subscribe, it'd be greatly appreciated. We are like 6 subscribers off 9.2k. We're trying to hit 10k by the end of this month. If we could do that, that would be insane. But what she said, or what he said was, it is Pat Riley's way. He was like, this team is not ran in the way LeBron wants it. This team is not ran the way Dwayne Wade wants it. This team is not ran the way Jimmy Butler wants it. This team is ran the way Pat Riley wants it. And obviously, he is the GM. He is. And I'm telling you, in the last 5 years, how many really bad decisions has Pat Riley made? And take into account that if you took, right now, Jokic off Denver, they're not making the playoffs. If you take the Heat could well make the playoffs without Jimmy. Like if Bam somehow starts to show up. Like if Bam starts playing like Bam, they can do it. Milwaukee without Giannis aren't making the playoffs, even after the Dame trade. Looking at a lot of the top teams. A lot of the top teams where they've aging superstars. Lakers without LeBron are not making the playoffs. The Suns with Kevin Durant aren't making the playoffs. Without Kevin Durant, they're definitely not making the playoffs. The Dallas Mavericks without Luka. Without Luka and like an iffy Kyrie are looking like they're gonna like struggle to make it into as a top 6 seed. So you're looking at all these teams and you're like, okay, they are like a lot of these teams are top heavy. Without Jimmy Butler, Miami are still a plus 500 team. They are still an above 500 team without Jimmy Butler. So with Jimmy Butler, they should be a real good team, right? Obviously, Jimmy Butler doesn't care. Doesn't think that. They have drafted unbelievably well. There has been one kind of issue when it comes to Miami. The Terry Rozier trade was terrible. That was a terrible trade. They had to get off Lowry. Terry Rozier was not the right person to do it with. But they let Gabe Vincent, they did not overpay Gabe Vincent. They didn't overpay Caleb Martin. They probably should have kept Max Strus. He's the only one who's doing anything anywhere else. And like he's literally the only one. They've let a lot of players go, and heck, in 2020, people are talking about how Jimmy Butler, you know, he absolutely carried. They don't make the finals without Jimmy. Yeah, they don't make the finals without Jimmy. But like Jimmy Butler in the 2020 playoffs was like he went nuclear in 2 games. I'm pretty sure, did he not have like 12 points or something in game 6 the time when they lost? But like the Eastern Conference Finals was the Tyler Hero show. We all remember how good Tyler Hero was in those Eastern Conference Finals. That was the story of the bubble, was how good Hero was. The top scorer on that team leading to the finals was Goran Dragic. Bam Adebayo with that game-winning block, it was a game 1 in the Eastern Conference Finals against Jason Tatum, was ridiculous. Like, that team was crazy. What Duncan Robinson did in the bubble got him paid. That was an all-around Heat show. Yes, Jimmy Butler literally had 2 of the best finals games I've ever seen, where he did carry them, but they still lost. And in the first round against Milwaukee, Jimmy Butler had one of the best playoff series I've ever seen a Heat player play. In the Eastern Conference Finals, people thought Caleb Martin should have won Finals MVP. Eastern Conference Finals MVP. So it wasn't just a case of, okay, Jimmy Butler is the only reason these are there. The Heat don't make any of these without Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler was the best player, but this was not like a generational carry job. To be fair, if they had made it the year before, 2022 would have been a generational carry job. Like what Jimmy Butler did in that Celtics series, like if he had hit that last shot, yeah, unbelievable. He's one of the greatest Heat players of all time. But like the roster put around Jimmy has been good. I'm sorry, the Heat have Jaime Jaquez is not old. Kel'el Ware's going to be great. Nikola Jovic is going to be really good at basketball. Tyler Hero's 24 years old. Is Tyler Hero 24 or is he 25? Tyler Hero is 24 years old, about to turn 25. He's a first-time All-Star, and then they got Bam Adebayo. The Heat are really good. The Heat are one of the seven or eight best teams. Teams that I would take over the Heat in the playoffs right now. Cavs, Celtics, Knicks. I take the Heat over the Bucks. Cavs, Celtics, Knicks, Thunder, Nuggets, Mavs. That's it. That's it in the playoffs that I would take over the Miami Heat right now. So the team has been, like, the team is much, much better. But then you've got, like, obviously, when it comes to some of these players talking, like Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade didn't necessarily take Pat Riley's side, but he's also saying, I don't know how people say because of Jimmy Butler, because of how Pat Riley handles things, guys don't come to Miami. You can't quit that. There isn't going to be a day in basketball a player isn't going to want to make $300 million to play in Miami. I'm sorry. Like, he's right. And two, when was the last big free agent signing in the NBA? I'm not joking. When was the last big free agent? Kevin Durant and Kyrie. When was the last big superstar free agency? Like, it's a fact. It is a fact. When was the last time a superstar made a move in free agency? Because they did happen in the past. I cannot remember. Like, there has been good players that have moved. Like, if we look at the best since 2020, Donovan Mitchell was traded. Tatum and Brown were there in 2020. Jalen Brunson, who everyone thought was an overpay at the time. Yeah, huge free agency move, I guess, in hindsight. Milwaukee Bucks traded for their guys. Orlando Magic, I don't know, KCP's been their biggest free agent. None of these teams have had that many splashes in free agency. Paul George this season was the splash free agent, and he sucked. Like, Oklahoma City, Isaiah Hartenstein's been their biggest free agent. To be fair, like, the Rockets got Freddie VanVleet, I guess, who's been bad this year. Like, when was the last time the free agency has been, like, a thing? Like, a lot of teams just trade to get assets. And obviously, it shocks me not one bit the team has made very few trades and struggling to find a trade. They hate making transactions, and they've not been good at them, not surprising. In fairness, the Miami Heat haven't been that good at trades, to be fair. And the problem is the Miami Heat don't like making trades they know they're going to lose. Like, talking about how it's a tragic relationship it ended. People are saying Pat Riley ran Shaq out of town. You ran LeBron out of town. You ran D-Wade out of town. Now you're running Jimmy Butler out of town. Like, obviously that was a while ago. But, like, I'm sorry. Shaq was finished. Shaq was finished, and they were in the midst of a season where they were the worst team in the NBA. Shaq was finished when they ran him out. But it is one of those things where it's like, you've got a situation where every former Heat player, outside of maybe LeBron, once they retire, they have the, even though they see things from both sides, like, Dwayne Wade's always like, look, I see it from Jimmy Butler's sides, but, like, this is why Pat Riley's doing it. Whether it be Tim Hardaway Sr. has had probably butted heads with Pat Riley as much as anyone, if not more. Now, after retiring, he's like, no, Pat was right. Dwayne Wade, even after retiring, he's like, it's frustrating as a player, but Pat's Pat. He runs the team, he's doing it right. And that's the reality of the situation, is that he is just he's a GM. And he's not, like, it's like Alex Ferguson with Manchester United. He was, like, he made sure that his decision was final. If a player fell out with him, they were gone. It was never, like, there was never a situation of, is it me or the player? No, it's me. If a player wants out and a player wants me gone, they're gone. And I like the fact that there's a team like that. I do. And the Heat aren't going to change. Heat aren't going to change for Jimmy. So you've got Tim Hardaway coming out there and basically saying Jimmy's trying to destroy the ship. You've got Dwayne Wade, who's even trying to be as, like, nice about Jimmy as possible, not take it out on him, agreeing with Pat Riley, even though people are like, Pat Riley screwed Dwayne Wade. And the reality is, other than LeBron James, who's probably the only Pat Riley's the only person I think that's ever told LeBron James no. Other than LeBron, I'd say all the players, when they're done, will come back and say, you know what? If I was running a team, what Pat Riley was doing was the right thing. And the worst part of it all is, like, they're paying him millions and millions of dollars. And he's probably going to come back playing tomorrow, which is even more interesting. But anyway, I'll see you guys.